Hello and welcome. If you're here, most likely you are very frustrated with latency, and I know it can put a big damper on trying to pretty much do anything in a DAW. If you're a guitarist like myself, it's pretty much impossible to keep up with any sort of metronome. Right, so latency. I'm just going to show you an example here. So this is going into direct sound. Essentially what latency is, it's a connection from your guitar, microphone, whatever you may use to record, through to your audio interface with, in my case, mine is connected through to a USB cable. The latency is the time taken from your instrument through to your audio interface and then through to your computer connection, and then having to come back through a signal like a headset or speakers. In this example over here, this is exactly what you're going to be seeing. I've got my audio interface here, the Lexicon Alpha, just going on direct sound. And if we look on the top right here, we can currently see that it's sitting at 230. So if you're starting up in Reaper for the first time, this is kind of what you could expect. Below here you can see an example. So this is a recording I did on 213 milliseconds latency, and even though it recorded on the correct tempo, along with the metronome, this is kind of what it used to sound like. And just having that additional bar completely throws you off, and it's painful. Right, so how do we fix that? First thing you're going to want to do is head over to a site called azureforall.org. They got a couple of beta releases available. I wouldn't exactly trust these because they could probably cause a lot more crashes than what it's worth. If you scroll down, you can just go to the latest release over here, install it. Once that's installed, you're going to go to options, you're going to go to preferences, and in your audio system, you're going to be selecting Azure. Once you select Azure, you can select from a driver, for instance, the Azure for All V2. This is most likely the one you're going to have available. So go ahead and use that and say OK. And in the top right hand corner, if you can see now, it immediately dropped down to 8 milliseconds, which is rather pretty impressive. I mean, going from 213 down to 8, it's a lot more bearable. You will also have this additional application at the bottom that's going to run, which is the actual driver. If you select your audio interface, you can see additional settings here on the right, where you can force it to a 16-bit driver, or you can change the resampling or force it to a hardware buffer. The hardware buffer I found extremely useful when it comes to using a USB headset. I constantly had an issue where the audio would cut off after, I don't know, maybe like a minute or so, and then the driver would essentially restart. I'm not entirely sure what the cause was, but most likely it's due to resources that it just couldn't handle, that it had to feed back through to the headset. And having enabled the hardware buffer on my headset itself completely removed that issue, so it's definitely something to look out for. So that's the easiest way I found to reduce latency. Azure is compatible across multiple DAWs. I've used it on Ableton before as well, but I'm pretty sure it will be compatible with a lot more of them. So if you like what you learned here, click subscribe, click a like button, it will just help me out a little bit more. I'll be doing short videos like these in the future as well. The next one I want to try and cover is Azure for All Link Pro, I believe that's what it's called. And it just basically allows you to, even though you're running Azure for All, you can't use your browser, for instance, to listen to music at the same time as the application is controlling your sound card. So yeah, I'll cover that in the next one. Thanks for joining me. Stick around for the next one. Cheers.